Hey there, year eights. Just for those who are having troubles with understanding what the point of exercise 9b is, 9b just wants you to do this. If I gave you this equation, y equals 2x minus 1, they want you to sketch that. What does that look like as a graph? Now, if I asked you to sketch that right now, if I drew an axis, I drew it out like this is your y-axis, here's your x-axis, and I said sketch it. For a lot of students, this is intimidating. We don't know how to do this. Okay, because you haven't learnt the algebra and the linkage to it. But in 9b, they're trying to give you a set of coordinates to help you draw it. So what we normally do is they use this table of values. That's what the chart you're seeing there is. You're trying to sketch this equation. Y equals to 2x minus 1, right? Y equals 2x minus 1. Now here's the thing. If I had Desmos, right, so I'm going to go to Desmos, I'm going to delete this. They're asking you to do this, y equals 2x minus 1. They want you to see that. You need to be able to sketch that, right? But to do that, how do you do it? So this is what they do. They say, all right, to sketch a graph, you need a bunch of coordinates. True? You need a bunch of coordinates, and then when you connect them together, you get a straight line. Now, in the exercise that you get, you can see that the numbers they give you, for example, this one, they say construct a table, and then they pick these numbers, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2. Doesn't have to be those numbers, but they just give it to you to get you started. That's it. So what they're saying there, let's say if I use the same numbers that they did there, this is what you'll do. They'll say, all right, let's go -2, -1, 0, 1, 2. What they're trying to say to you here is that what if I picked random coordinates, I say, x was -2, x was -1, so -1 goes here. What if x was 0? What if x was 1? And what if x was 2, right? So let's say that was the case. See, we can't plot these coordinates, each one of these coordinates, I can't plot it onto the graph until I have the y coordinate. I only got the x, because they made up the x, they just chose -2 to 2. That's what they did. What you're missing here in these blanks that you need to fill out is that you need to figure out, well, what does the y coordinate equal to? Now, fortunately for you, you've got a rule. The rule says, well, y will equal to 2 times whatever x is, okay, so whatever x is, and then you minus 1. But we do know what x is. They told us. They said, well, we said, what if x was -2? Well, if it was -2, then according to this rule, 2 times -2 is -4, and then what's -4 minus 1? Use your calculator if you need, but the answer is -5. So then you fill in here, you say, well, that's -5. But what you need to realize is this is one set of coordinates. When x is -2, then the y coordinate is -5. That's all it is. And then you do the same thing again. You're saying, well, what if x was -1? Well, then according to the rule, same thing again. The y coordinate will equal to 2 times x, and then you minus 1. Now, what's my x? In this case, x is -1. So 2 times -1, that gives you -2. And -2 minus 1 is -3. So then I now know this is -3. And then this is -3. So now you got 2 points. Now, you see, if we followed this pattern, you'll start to see that, well, actually, they seem to be moving in a particular pattern. It's just two more, isn't it? -5 plus 2 gets you -3. So if I just add 2 each time, you'll probably get the next one. The next one should be -1. Now let's see if that's true. Let's see if it's true. So y equals 2 times, what's my x? X is 0 in this case. So if x was 0, well, according to the rule, y will equal to 2 times 0, 0, 0 minus 1. It's true. It is -1. And then once you got the pattern, you can probably fill in the rest. It's just adding 2 each time. So if you add an extra 2 and add another 2, -1 plus 2 is 1, and 1 plus 2 is 3. So now you know the coordinates are -1, and that's 1 and 1, and then the other one is 2, 3. Now that you've got the coordinates, if I asked you the same question, sketch this line, well, you've got a bunch of coordinates to now label, to put onto the x-axis and the y-axis. So here we go. Let's plot the coordinates. Let's say, I'm going to use a ruler. Oh, it doesn't have the... Okay, I'm going to just make it up. 1. Maybe I should do it like this. Whoops. Let's do it like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, -2, -3, -4. Let's say 1's here. 2, 3, 4. -1, -2, -3, -4. Something like that, right? Let's plot our coordinates here. So hopefully you know how to plot coordinates when x is -2. So that's where -2 is. And then y is -5. Y is -5. Oh, I need to keep going further, actually. So -5 is here, -6, -7. All right, let's see. So -5 is here. So that means together they must meet right at this particular point. So there we go. We've got -2, -5. That's where -2, -5 is. Now let's see if that's true on Desmos. Let's go to Desmos. -2, -5, and let's label it. And you can see if I zoom out, there you go. -2, -5, and that's where -5 is. See how it's -5 and it just hits right there. So -2, -5, they meet at that point there on the line. Now, if we plot all the other coordinates, you're plotting -1, -3. So -1, -3. It's roughly here. So we've done this set of coordinates. We've done that set of coordinates. Went on to the next one, 0, -1. So 0, -1 is right here. So as long as you're doing it correctly, you should be able to see the points come together. So 1, 1's the next one. And then 2, 3 is the next one. And you should get this like straight line pattern that's coming about. And that's what they want you to do. So if I asked you, sketch that equation from the beginning, you can now. You can connect all the dots and you should get a nice straight line. So if I connected all the dots, let's connect the dots here. Here we go. So -2, -5. What was the other one? No. -1, -3. Here we go. That's 1 point. Next one was 0, -1. So 0, -1. Close brackets. The other one was 1, 1, I think. Was it 1, 1? Yep. And the last one was 2, 3. So that's what you should be getting right now. These are your coordinates. And then you can see if I connect the dots, that's how you get your straight line. And that's what the exercise 9B is. 9B is trying to get you to feel more comfortable in using a tool to organize your coordinates so that you can plot them on a Cartesian plane. And then when you can plot them, well, you can sketch them. And that's what they mean. Okay, so that's example 2, and you can do it for all of these rules here. So question 2, these are your rules. If I ask you sketch y equals x plus 1, well, they gave you a chart to start off with, and then you work with how many points would you be sketching? It would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you have 7 coordinates to find out, and then you plot them. That's what 9B is. Okay.